There is one stage of sleep your legs need more than any other. It is not the lightest stage, where you drift in and out. It is not REM, where you dream. It is the deepest stage of non-dream sleep. Your brain produces the stage where your brain waves slow to their broadest, heaviest rhythm of the entire night. Doctors call it slow wave sleep, or N3, or simply deep sleep. And here's what almost nobody tells people over 60. This specific stage of sleep does not just decline gradually with age. A landmark study from the University of Chicago, published in JAMA, tracked sleep and hormone levels in 149 healthy men ages 16 to 83 and found that slow-wave sleep declines by approximately 75 to 80% between young adulthood and later life, even when total sleep time looks roughly normal on the surface. You can be in bed for 8 hours. You can fall asleep without difficulty and still lose most of the one stage that does the deepest physical repair work your body performs all day and night. I am Dr. Mary, and today I am going to show you exactly what slow wave sleep does for your legs specifically, and the two separate repair systems that quietly shut down when it disappears. Slow wave sleep is connected to both the vagus nerve and the nocturnal blood pressure pattern we covered in the last two videos, but it is its own distinct mechanism, with its own separate consequences for your legs. It is the stage when your brain produces its slowest, highest amplitude electrical activity under 1 cycle per second. It typically concentrates in the first half of the night, in the deepest part of your sleep cycle. And it is during this specific window that two of the most important repair processes in your entire body take place. Stay with me, because once you understand what these two processes are, you will understand exactly why losing this stage of sleep hits your legs harder than almost any other part of your body. I want to tell you about a man I will call Frank. Frank was 74. He did not have insomnia. He fell asleep within minutes most nights. He did not have sleep apnea. A sleep study had ruled that out 2 years earlier. By every conventional measure, Frank slept fine. But Frank woke up every single morning feeling like his legs had done a full day of work overnight. Not painful, exactly. Just heavy, stiff, slow to respond, as though some maintenance crew was supposed to come through while he slept and simply never showed up. He mentioned this to 3 different doctors over 4 years. Each one asked about his sleep duration, his sleep apnea history, his restless leg symptoms. Each test came back unremarkable. Nobody ever asked about his sleep architecture, the specific stages of sleep he was cycling through, and how much time he spent in each one. When Frank finally underwent a detailed sleep study that specifically measured his slow wave sleep, the picture became clear. Frank was spending less than 5% of his total sleep time in slow wave sleep. A healthy adult in their 30s typically spends 15 to 20% of total sleep there. Frank was sleeping 8 hours a night. He was getting almost none of the one stage his legs needed most. Here's the first reason slow wave sleep matters so specifically for your legs. Slow wave activity, the deep, slow brain rhythm that defines this stage, directly aids the overnight restoration of autonomic balance. During robust, slow-wave sleep, your central nervous system actively works to rebalance the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems we discussed in the last 2 videos, promoting greater parasympathetic dominance through the night. In plain language, slow-wave sleep is the stage where your nervous system does its actual nightly rebalancing work, the work that should produce the nocturnal blood pressure dip we covered last week, and the parasympathetic vascular relaxation we covered the week before. It is not simply correlated with those processes. It actively drives them. When slow-wave sleep is reduced, as it is, dramatically, with age that rebalancing work is incomplete. Research has found that when slow-wave activity is disturbed in older adults, autonomic regulation is directly impaired, with increased sympathetic dominance persisting through what should have been a restorative night. This is the missing piece connecting everything in this mini-series. Your vagal tone declines with age. Your nocturnal blood pressure dipping declines with age. And slow wave sleep, the stage that is supposed to actively drive the nightly recovery of both systems, declines the most dramatically of all three. Frank's legs were not getting their nightly autonomic reset because the sleep stage responsible for delivering that reset had nearly disappeared. Stay with me because there is a second repair system tied to slow wave sleep that has nothing to do with your nervous system and everything to do with the muscle and nerve tissue in your legs directly. Here's the second reason, and it involves a hormone most people only associate with childhood growth. Growth hormone is released in pulses throughout the day, but the single most reproducible pulse of the entire 24-hour cycle occurs shortly after you enter your first period of slow-wave sleep. Clinical research has established that up to 70% of growth hormone secretory pulses during sleep coincide specifically with slow-wave sleep, and the amount of hormone secreted during these pulses correlates directly with how much slow-wave sleep is present. Growth hormone is not just about height and childhood development. In adults, it plays a direct, ongoing role in muscle maintenance, tissue repair, and critically, for this conversation, peripheral nerve regeneration. Research has demonstrated that growth hormone enhances axonal regeneration, improves muscle reinnervation, and supports the maintenance of the Schwann cells that produce myelin in your peripheral nerves, the same myelin we discussed in earlier videos in connection with B12 and zinc. As slow-wave sleep declines with age, nighttime growth hormone secretion declines in close parallel. The same JAMA study that documented the 75 to 80% drop in slow-wave sleep also found a corresponding substantial decline in nighttime growth hormone secretion across the same age range and confirmed that the relationship between the two held independent of age itself, meaning slow-wave sleep, is a direct driver of the hormone pulse, not just a coincidental companion to it. Think of it this way. Every night, your body runs two separate overnight maintenance crews for your legs. The first crew, the autonomic system, handles circulation, opening blood vessels and restoring healthy vascular tone. The second crew, driven by growth hormone, handles the physical repair work in your muscle and nerve tissue itself. Both crews are dispatched from the same control room, slow-wave sleep. When that stage of sleep shrinks, both crews show up for a shorter shift, with less to work with, night after night, for years. Frank had two repair systems quietly failing at once, not because anything was acutely wrong, but because the one nightly window that activates both of them had nearly closed. Here is the part of this I think you will actually use tonight, because not all of this decline is fixed, and a few specific things matter more than people realize. Some age-related decline in slow-wave sleep is unavoidable, but the decline is not entirely fixed. Several modifiable factors influence how much slow-wave sleep you generate on any given night. Alcohol in the evening, even moderate amounts, measurably suppresses slow-wave sleep in the first half of the night, which is exactly when this stage is supposed to be most concentrated. This is one of the most consistently replicated findings in sleep research, and it is also one of the most overlooked, because alcohol can make people fall asleep faster while simultaneously degrading the quality of the deep sleep that follows. Room temperature matters more than most people realize. Slow-wave sleep is associated with a drop in core body temperature, and a bedroom that is too warm can blunt that drop and reduce slow-wave generation. Research on sleep architecture consistently identifies a cooler sleeping environment, generally in the range of 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, as more conducive to deep sleep. Consistent sleep and wake timing supports slow-wave sleep concentration in the first sleep cycle, where it belongs. Irregular bedtimes fragment the architecture that allows slow-wave sleep to consolidate properly. And the acoustic stimulation research is worth knowing about specifically. A randomized crossover trial in adults aged 62 to 78 found that mobile auditory stimulation, soft sound cues, precisely timed to the rhythm of existing slow waves, measurably enhanced slow wave activity in a real world, at home setting, not just in a sleep lab. This is an active area of research, and devices using this approach are becoming more widely available, though the evidence is still developing and any device should be discussed with your doctor, particularly if you have any underlying sleep or neurological conditions. Frank made 3 changes. He stopped his evening glass of wine, he lowered his bedroom temperature by several degrees, and he committed to a consistent sleep and wake schedule, even on weekends. He did not use any sleep medication or device, just these 3 modifiable factors, sustained for 2 months. A follow-up sleep study showed his slow-wave sleep had increased from under 5% of total sleep time to just over 11%, not back to the level of a 30-year-old that would not be a realistic expectation at 74, but a meaningful, measurable recovery. The morning heaviness in his legs, the feeling that no overnight maintenance crew had shown up, reduced significantly. It did not disappear entirely, but for the first time in years, Frank woke up feeling like his legs had actually rested. Here is what you can take from Frank's experience. If your legs feel undone in the morning despite a full night in bed, if sleep apnea and insomnia have both been ruled out, ask your doctor specifically about a sleep study that measures sleep architecture, including the percentage of time spent in slow-wave sleep, not just total sleep duration. This is a different and more specific question than the standard "how many hours do you sleep" conversation. Tomorrow night before bed, do one thing, skip the evening drink if you usually have one, and lower your bedroom temperature by a few degrees. 2 changes. One night. And notice specifically how your legs feel the next morning compared to how they usually do. 3 things to carry with you. 1. Slow-wave sleep, the deepest stage of non-dream sleep, declines dramatically with age, by as much as 75 to 80% compared to your 20s and 30s, even when total sleep time appears normal. This stage actively drives the autonomic rebalancing that produces healthy nocturnal blood pressure dipping and parasympathetic vascular restoration. 2. Up to 70% of your nightly growth hormone pulses occur during slow-wave sleep, with hormone output directly correlated to how much of this stage you generate. Growth hormone supports muscle maintenance and peripheral nerve regeneration. When slow-wave sleep declines, this repair pulse declines with it, leaving your legs' overnight maintenance work incomplete, year after year. 3. Some slow-wave sleep decline is an unavoidable part of aging, but several modifiable factors genuinely influence how much you generate each night: evening alcohol, bedroom temperature, and sleep schedule consistency among them. These are low-risk, evidence-supported starting points, and for some people, the difference is measurable within weeks. Before I go something for next week, this video completes a 3-part arc on your nervous system's role in your leg health, the vagus nerve, nocturnal blood pressure, and now slow-wave sleep. 3 different mechanisms, all converging on the same conclusion: your legs are managed by systems most appointments never examine. Next week, I want to return to something more immediate and more practical. A specific, evidence-backed technique you can use the moment a cramp starts, something that works with your nervous system in real time, not just overnight. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Because understanding the why is only half the picture. Next week is about the what to do. Right now, in the moment it happens. I will see you then. Take care of those legs.